The purpose of this video is to emphasize that the math we need to start solving the class exercises is not very different than the math we needed for high school. Don't take me wrong, we're gonna get to calculus soon enough, but we are going to start easy. In high school, we would have an equation like that, y equals 12 divided by x. I am sure that you did this exercise for many equations, and the purpose was to draw a graph. So if, for instance, x equals 2, y equals 12 divided by 2, 6, and you come here 2, 6, it's a point. Another notation, the coordinates of a point are usually denoted in parentheses. The first coordinate is the horizontal variable, the second is the vertical variable. If x equals 3, y equals 12 divided by 3, 4. If x equals 6, y equals 2. If x equals 1, y equals 12. If x equals 12, y equals 1. So then, once you have enough points, you can draw the graph. So the point to emphasize is, for every equation, there was a graph, and for every graph, there was an equation. Now, what we're going to be in the book are curves, like this one, the indifference curve. Instead of y, we have a quantity of a good. In our example, hamburgers. Instead of x, we are also going to have the quantity of a good. Again, in the book's example, soft drinks. And then we have a curve. This curve is actually identical to this curve. But the point I'm trying to emphasize is the book has the curve. What is the equation behind the curve? Well, in this case, we already know it is hamburgers equals 12 divided by soft drinks, since this curve is identical to that. So the only difference is instead of y is the quantity of a good, instead of x is the quantity of another good. Now, if in high school we had an equation, we will ask what's the curve. Here, the book gives us a curve, and class exercise will ask us to derive the equation. We are going to derive the equation from the utility function. Remember, the utility function is a function of the quantity of two goods, good 1, good 2. Notice that this u is the same as f, but instead of denoted utility as a function of, you using the letter u, the same letter that you use for that. That's just a convention, the same way that it was a convention to use the f. Now the convention is to use the letter u to indicate function of. But back to the point, how do you use the utility function? 1, to draw this graph, and 2, to figure out the equation behind this graph.